Hello, everybody. Michael Alcoholic, and thank you for calling upon me to share because I have to get out of myself. Tonight. 14 years, an old timer like me. It's really difficult because sometimes when you have double digits, people don't really come to you. They don't think you have anything interesting to say. They don't think you have a story to tell, but it's the old timers that paved the way, and we try to do everything that we can, and it comes to sponsorship and sharing our experience, strength, and hope, and guiding a newcomer through the steps of the program. We tend to forget ourselves that we can't do this alone. And the last week has just been kind of rough. When you're coming up on an anniversary, my old sponsor said it's called PMS, pre-medallion syndrome. So you tend to forget certain things. And lately, I've been forgetting to really pray and talk to my higher power. The third step is we turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. That's the operative word, as we understand Him. It's we don't force any type of religion onto anyone. It's simply God as you understand Him. So whatever your understanding of a higher power is, and if you have a problem with the word God, just call it good orderly direction, because it's the good orderly direction that will lead you through the steps along with your sponsor, and in keeping with a program. It's kind of rough at first, because 14 years ago I was right where a lot of the people are. The young lady with the very first day today, and welcome. That is the most important person in the room, and anyone with less than 90 days, keep coming back. It really gets better. Know that you never have to drink or use a drug ever again, because if drinking or using was the answer, then what in the world was the question? There's nothing that you can. There's nothing worth throwing any time of sobriety away over. You just can't. It's it's the problems. And those I've heard newcomers come in and say, oh, I'm not doing this forever. I just need a break. Well, none of us do it forever. We do it one day at a time. We do it one day because we only have today. My very original sponsor used to say, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why it's called the present. And that's how you tend to know that you have to stay only in the here and now, and only for today. That is all we have. Today is all that's promised. Tomorrow is not promised, and yesterday is gone. Excuse me. And we just know that every day we wake up, we look at that first step, and we admit that we're powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable. As we admit it. Note that the steps tend to be written in the past tense. So we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol. And then there's a dash, that our lives have become unmanageable. That's indicative. This is a two-part step. You have to first admit your powerlessness over alcohol, over drugs, anything that's your poison. Then you turn around and say that your life has become unmanageable. And then you work with that unmanageability. And with your sponsor, you tend to find out, you know, how, in the second step, do you come to believe that a power greater than yourself is going to restore you to sanity? You have, you know, you're being asked to come to believe in this higher power, this intangible force that you cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot smell, you cannot touch. But that intangible force is around you. And all you have to do is quiet yourself, listen. The answers will come. And then you turn your will and your life over to care of God as you understand them, your good orderly direction. And then you're ready to take your fourth step and make that searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself. You know, and take your time. You know, you'll hit on what you have now, because if you admit to God, yourself, and another human being the exact nature of your wrongs, you become entirely ready to have God remove your defects of character, and you humbly ask Him to remove your shortcomings. Literature used to say, humbly on our knees, ask Him to remove our shortcomings. You know, and then you go to the eighth step where you make the list of all the people that you harmed, become willing to make amends to them all. No, it just says, become willing to make amends to them all. Write your eighth step as though there is no ninth step. The ninth step says, we may direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. That's where you need your sponsor to help you go through that list. But make those amends anytime they arise. You know, not too long ago, I ran into somebody that I owed amends to, and just showed up out of the blue, out of nowhere, and at the Starbucks by my work window of all places. And I actually made myself 10 minutes late for work because I had to sit down and say, listen, I owe you amends. And of course, he didn't know what I meant by amends. He's like, well, if you need to apologize, I said, no, see, apologies are simply a half-hearted, I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. And amends shows that you changed your life. You changed your way of living and your way of thinking. And knowing that, you know, you're only going to, you know, as I said, when I harmed you, I was drunk, I was high, you know, I was in another world. I didn't know what I was doing. And I've since become sober for 14 years, and now I know what I've done. And you know, I've stolen from you. I caused you to, you know, have a rift between you and your family. And the only way I can make it up is knowing that it will never happen again. And I said, oh, and by the way, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I blew up your '57 Corvette that used to sit in front of your house. He's like, oh, that wasn't mine. I said, oh, great. Now I got to track down some random person. So, yeah, and it's just only because you know, we had a good laugh and a hug about it, and you know, it's out of the way, and it's an amendment crossed off of my list. And so when the opportunity presents itself, do so, you know, and then you continue to take personal inventory, and when wrong, promptly admit it. And then you go on to 11 and 12, you know, where you continue through prayer and meditation to listen for, you know, to seek the help of your higher power. Prayer is talking to your higher power. Meditation is listening for your higher power to answer. And it's not going to come in the form of a burning bush or a big thunderbolt from the sky. I mean, sometimes it can, you know, don't, you know, a thunderstorm suddenly comes up, you know, I'm just like, okay, I'm listening, you know. And then the 12th step, when you have that spiritual awakening, that's when you're ready to sponsor. That's when you're ready to guide somebody through their journey. A sponsor is but a guide through the journey. As I tell my sponsees, all you have to do is follow the yellow brick road. And they're like, what yellow brick road? And I'm like, never mind, we'll get to that later. It's another story. It's another book. But and so we help each other, and we are each other's eyes and ears. And with that, I am going to start rambling, and I hope I've made some kind of sense to everybody tonight, and I hope I've reached out. And this is where my sponsor always says, when you start rambling, it's time to shut it down. So with that, I thank you for letting me share tonight. And with that, I'm going to pass. Thank you.